Hello, welcome to this next lesson. Today we are going to learn about snapping. So, how to get objects aligned to each other on a perfect angles and alignment. So, what we're going to want to do is we're going to create a cube without using a cube. So, right here I have just the one-sided plane that we're going to use to be able to make a cube. All right, so first things first, we need all the sides to our cube. So we need to duplicate this shape. So we got enough for the top, the sides, and the bottom. All right, I think we need one more. All right, so now that we got all of our sides, just line these up a little bit. All right, so now we need to turn on snapping. So snapping is where the vertices can meet, so the edges. So what we're going to do is on our left controller, there is this, it looks like a magnet almost icon. We're going to use our toggle on our joystick to push down on it, and it's going to highlight it in blue. So make sure this is highlighted in blue if you want to do snapping. If you want to turn it off, all you have to do is just click it back down. So we're going to click it back up so it's on snapping. We're going to go over to one of our shapes. And if you notice that there are these orange dots now on the middle and edges of the shape. These are our snapping points. So these little orange dots are our snapping points, and we can take, by holding down on that orange dot, move the object around. We can take another orange dot and line it up with another orange dot. So essentially what I did there is I went over to the object, used the pointer on my hand, stuck it in that little orange dot there till it grew. See how it grows a little bit bigger? That's how you know you're in that area. You're just going to hold down on your top trigger button and hold it down. And you're going to move it around. What I like to do is I come up next to it. So see if I hold it, if I snap it to this first snap point, it's not lined up. There's a space in between here. So we have to go to the second point. And if we went to this last point, well, now it looks like we're overlapping. So we're going to push it back to that first one. And then all you do is just let go. All right, so now we got two sides here. Let's work on getting the rest of them. So again, you're just going to go over to your object, making sure snapping is on. You're going to go over to your orange ball. You're going to bring it over here. So same thing. Make sure it's in the other orange. So we're looking for this other orange ball to line up with that other orange ball. Once you have it lined up, you can let it go. Let's go ahead and finish this cube. So sometimes with these single-sided planes, they'll come in very flat, and it's only going to have one orange dot there, which is fine. Sometimes it's a little difficult grabbing single-sided planes when it's completely flat like that. So what I do is I like going over to the plane, going to the center, going to the green. Now the arrow is going to move the object. The square on here is going to expand it. So see how the frame around this plane just got bigger? And if we let go, we got our 3 dots instead of just the 1. So you can expand it out. Doesn't matter. It doesn't change the shape or anything on this. We just need it so that it's easier to grab. Oh, I guess we were one more. All right, and then look at that. We got ourselves a cube without even dropping in a cube shape. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to group this all together, because right now if I try to move it, I'm going to be moving these individual pieces. So we need to move this all as one object. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold down on the trigger button and just keep your hands out of the object. Hold down on the trigger button. You'll notice that your wheel changes to a minus sign and a plus sign. We're going to toggle over on the plus sign. And notice that your sphere here gets bigger the more you push over to the plus and smaller when you push over to the negative sign. So this is just your grouping space. So the bigger the sphere, the more space it covers. So this is super helpful if you got a bunch of items in your world and you just need to group all of them or select all of them. This sphere is super helpful. So the only thing we're going to do is just going to wave this all through the object, make sure all the parts have been touched. And now you got this blue frame around here, and you can move this object as one object now. Pretty cool. Same thing, if we want to make this as a solid object, we don't want these individual parts, because as soon as I click away, all of these parts become individualized again. So we're going to group this as one object. So we're going to make this sphere, select everything inside, and then we're going to stick our hand indicator in the object. So we get those 3 dots on the top there, and we're just going to push up. There we go. All right, now we have a panel that pops up. Now what we want to do is make this as one object. We don't want all these individual pieces anymore. We want to create this as one object. So you're going to go to the very top. Looks like there's 2 icons here. We want to go to the first one. If you hover over it, it says press to group or ungroup objects. So we want to group all these objects together. So we're going to press this button. Panel's this going to appear. It's going to create a whole new highlighting on the object. And look at this. All one object, and it's all together. Now, if you were like, oh crap, I missed something, or I don't want it like this anymore, you can always go into the object, push up on the toggle, the joystick, and then go over on the panel. You're going to look for the icon that looks like a bunch of pieces on here. If you hover over it, it says press to group or ungroup objects. We're going to go ahead and click that. All right, panel goes away. And look at that. This is now an individual pieced item again. So pretty neat. So that's just the basics of how to snap. So remember, it's these orange little dots. Making sure that our snap icon is on, and just lining them up next to another orange dot. You can always angle them out. You just rotate your wrist, and you can angle the snap. So if you need it on a plane or an inverted plane, you can do that as well. All right, thanks guys.